Thank you very much, Eva. And now I give the floor to our colleague, Jim Hignez, who is serving in the Bureau as Questor of this Parliament. Jim, you have the floor.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. President, and I feel guilty being called ahead of Mr. Stuart Stevenson and the other eminent members who have done an awful lot more over a longer period of time than I have. But I want to thank you, first of all, Mr. President, because I think what you have done is you have encapsulated for all of us exactly what our collective feelings are. And it was a very, very powerful oration indeed, and a very powerful demonstration of our solidarity and support for the PMOI and your ongoing campaign, which I don't have any doubt, given all of the internal pressure in the country itself, and given the external political pressure, which is absolutely crucial, that this joint partnership will eventually deliver what we want, and that is the vision of Mrs. Rajavi, who is extremely welcome indeed, and that is a secular, pluralistic and non-nuclear Iran. And that is what we are here for today, to push that particular agenda, and we will keep pushing that agenda until such time as we realise that particular dream. What are we looking for? At the end of the day, what we are looking for is a government that of the people, by the people, for the people. What we are looking for is a free democracy, and to rid Iran of the tyrannical regime that unfortunately tramples on the rights of people. I want to first of all say that I am in awe and admiration of the fact that you have managed to keep the uprising going. Sometimes it can be easy to start an uprising, but the real test is whether or not that uprising and the momentum can be kept going. We this week celebrate in Europe the demolition of the Berlin Wall over 20 years ago. And we remember that when we had uprisings in 1956 in Hungary, what happened? The Russians moved in, suppressed overnight, and that was the end of the revolution. That was the end of the uprising. And the Danube ran red with blood. We had the same situation in relation to Czechoslovakia, led by Dubček, again suppressed, and that was the end of the uprising. What I admire about this uprising, however, is that you have managed to keep it going, and that is what is crucially important. From the point of view of the residents of Camp Ashraf, again, I admire them for their solidarity and their resistance to an invasion on what should have been an area with absolute territorial integrity. Unfortunately, that wasn't recognised by the troops and by the police who invaded that territorial integrity, and essentially we've seen the price in terms of loss of lives, the hunger strikes, etc. I had the pleasure of speaking in the European Parliament in support of the hunger strikers on day 66, just after they had gone on the dry strike. And we know from experience in Ireland, and it's a totally different situation, that once you go on a dry hunger strike, you're talking about a matter of days. And I do believe that the international pressure exerted by the European Union and exerted by the United Nations, that was crucial in terms of making the authorities see the light of day and allow these people to come off the hunger strike with dignity and to release them, because they had already defied several court orders in relation to the release. So there's no doubt whatever about it that had it not been for the international pressure, those brave hunger strikers would be in their graves today. So pressure absolutely pays. And last but by no means least, because there is a December deadline in relation to the displacement, it is vital that we up that momentum and that we up that pressure to ensure that this displacement does not take place. Because if displacement takes place, we are talking about a mass massacre. So we don't want another Srebrenica. What we want is action on the international front to ensure that it doesn't take place. So again, we support you, Mr. Rajavi, 100%. And I have no doubt whatever about it, but that given the internal and the external momentum, the combined efforts, that we will eventually see the realisation of your dream, and that is a democratic Iran. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim.